So, big breaking news, Dave Castro has been sacked. It's a huge shock to the CrossFit community as a whole. I honestly didn't expect to have as many debates as I've had about this over the last couple of days. My DMs have been flooded with all of your opinions and I love a debate, so I find it all really interesting. In this video, I'm going to talk about a couple of the speculations going around about why he might have been sacked. There's a new statement that's come up from CrossFit, which I'm going to go through. I just want to have a chat with you about it and see what you think. This breaking news happened yesterday, but of course I'm a regular person, I've got a normal job, so that's why we're making the video now and not yesterday. If you're new to the channel, my name's Beth. I am a CrossFit athlete, I do Olympic weightlifting, and I make content for beginners and intermediates in CrossFit and Olympic weightlifting, and just for anybody that wants to get into health and fitness to better themselves and feel better and feel strong. I've done CrossFit for 5 years now, since 2016, so when I started, Dave Castro was the face of CrossFit. He was the one that ran the Open, he was the main person that you'd see on any of the CrossFit broadcasts. The Morning Chalk Up posted the article first, and this is what it says. From Eric Rosa, I have made the difficult decision to change the leadership of the sport team to best support CrossFit's go forward plans, and Dave Castro will be leaving the business. And then Morning Chalk Up have added, Dave Castro has been fired from his position as General Manager of Sport for CrossFit by Eric Rosa, according to an internal email that circulated to CrossFit employees on January the 4th. So Castro has just finished his 15th year and has confirmed that he has in fact been fired from CrossFit. Dave also reposted it and said they tried to persuade him to say that it was a mutual decision, and it wasn't a mutual decision, and it is completely out of the blue, and it's a shock to him as well. At the moment, we don't know why he's been sacked. I'm not sure if we ever will know exactly why he's been sacked. His replacement is Justin Berg, and he has been in the CrossFit space for quite a while. I really like him. I like his style of presenting. I've seen him on a lot of podcasts and streams. He seems like a nice guy. Dave was super entertaining, and he started the games. He started running it from his ranch, and then it has grown to where it is now under him and his team. He has been a huge part of it for a very long time. Everyone seems to love to hate him. A lot of people seem very upset by this, especially those people that are really ingrained in the old style CrossFit community and really love the kind of Greg Glassman way of doing things. There are equally a lot of people that think it's a positive change and maybe didn't gel with what Dave has been doing over the last couple of years. He did say on one of the videos recently that it was going to be his last Open and that he was going to leave on his own terms.
So these 3 weeks will be on my own terms and then I'm out.
So I do wonder if part of that is maybe why CrossFit made this decision. It could definitely have a role to play in this. CrossFit has just released this statement. Dave Castro is the founder of the CrossFit Games. His contributions and creativity inspired many to bring CrossFit into their lives and challenge their limits. He set a historic tone for the sport of fitness, and his innovations are woven into the fabric of CrossFit training, the art of programming, and the CrossFit affiliate community. We understand and acknowledge that change is difficult and that this will be an emotional time for many. We are listening to both our internal teams and the community. We are here to preserve the heart of CrossFit and help lead the sport into the future. I think that's a pretty good statement for CrossFit. Change is hard and it is big and scary for a lot of people, but it doesn't always mean a bad thing, and sometimes change actually needs to happen. I'm willing to see what happens. I would love to hear a little bit more from Eric to see what he's thinking and where he wants to take CrossFit. I want to see exactly where he wants to take this, because at the moment we don't really know, and I think we need to hear more about that. I have a few opinions about where I think it should go in the future, which I'll let you know at the end. One of the first big speculations as to why he was fired is the fact that he met up with Greg Glassman about 2 weeks ago. It's clear from what a lot of his former colleagues have said that Greg and Dave had quite a close-knit relationship, and that Dave really gelled with the way that Greg did things, and he was part of the previous sort of ecosystem of CrossFit. There was a lot of controversy last time when Greg Glassman left the sport. Obviously he made some really controversial comments. A lot of people were not happy with what he did. So I can see how showing loyalty to the old owner of CrossFit when he's done those things might cause some friction in the management of CrossFit. Something that came to me, because this is something that I thought this year, I saw Dave Castro's announcement about the Open and about how he said that this year, he said that it was going to be really painful. And for me, that's not why I do the Open. I do the Open for it to be challenging, for it to be fun, and to do it with people in the community. I don't want to be in pain. I mean, I usually put myself in pain because I go really hard and like to try and get the best score I can, but pain is not the reason I do it. And this year I saw that and I was like, oh, do I really want to do that? And we know that obviously the venture that Eric wants to move forward is to get more people participating in the Open. He wants to be more inclusive and push things forward. I really don't think pain does that, and I don't think it's going to persuade people, especially beginners in the sport, to do the Open. I put this comment on the Morning Chalk Up article and it seems to have got a lot of traction, and Craig also mentioned it on his video.
This is the sort of comment that I like, you know, like it's won by Sporty Beth CrossFit.
Thank you, Craig. I'm glad you agree with me. I just feel like when it's supposed to be like mass participation, community and inclusive focus, that's not the message we want to be putting out there. Pain is a 20-minute AMRAP of burpees and thrusters. Fun and challenging could be using all of the domains, using a skill that's challenging for each individual category and using a weight that's challenging for those categories. They're two very different things. You can make it really hard and people will put themselves in pain trying to do their best. The main aim shouldn't be pain. We want it to be physically challenging, and I have found some of the Open workouts in recent years to be painful but quite boring, and I want it to be fun and challenging. The aim of the CrossFit Open to begin with is pretty clear. It was initially started to get the whole community in this awesome sport together, create a community atmosphere that is inclusive. That has always been ingrained in the original idea of the Open. We're not saying anything new here, so I wonder if they're trying to preserve the heart of CrossFit in that way. Lots of you have also suggested that it could be to do with his hunting pictures, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't like that either. I actually did unfollow Dave after I saw him post those hunting pictures. I personally don't agree with hunting for sport. From looking at my DMs, that put a lot of people off. Many of you have suggested that that could have been something to do with it. I think it's more likely to be an amalgamation of all of them, and maybe they have decided that Dave, being loyal to Greg Glassman and also programming the Open in a way that's not particularly inclusive and having all of these really controversial opinions, maybe doesn't gel with the way that they want CrossFit to go and the Open to go in the future. That's kind of the conclusion that I've come to. Let me know what you think. There's been some frankly awful opinions said about why this decision has been made. I'll play you this little clip.
From a guy who was homeless for 2 years and lived in a car for another 5 years. There's nothing funny about mental illness. That's why you shouldn't be making decisions about 15,000 affiliates in 162 countries that employ over 30,000 people. You shouldn't be making decisions while you're mentally ill.
This is from Savan, I think his name is, who was part of CrossFit. I think he was part of the team that did get sacked from CrossFit initially. I'm not sure. I know he used to be on a lot of the podcasts. Those of you that know me know I feel very strongly about mental health. I have bipolar disorder myself. I struggle with depression. I also have PTSD, and this is not okay. What he's saying is not okay. Having lived in a car for a few years does not make you an expert on mental health, and also people that struggle with mental illness can make big decisions. I did my entire postgraduate degree whilst being mentally ill. Sometimes we're actually better functioning than normal people. What he said is so wrong. Blaming this decision on him being depressed is honestly disgusting. A lot of people are really outraged about this, and I've seen it in my DMs. A lot of you have been DMing me this particular post because you know how awful this kind of thing is. This is the entire reason we talk about mental health. This is the entire reason we need to get rid of the stigma around mental health, because people are saying stuff like this. I thought it was a fantastic step when Eric spoke about his mental health. A lot of people like me started CrossFit because we wanted to improve our mental health. My CrossFit journey started because I was at rock bottom. I was overweight, struggling with eating disorders, and I was severely depressed, and it literally saved me. It's so disconnected from the community and what a lot of us have gone through. So I just think that kind of comment is horrendous and shouldn't have been said. But he does have a lot of controversial opinions, a lot of fat phobia. Instagram will give you a warning if you try and follow him, that he posts a lot of fake news, and I don't think it's okay for him to have said that. I understand being upset about change and that change is hard. Obviously he really cares and is mates with Dave Castro, and he doesn't want this to change. I get that, and I get the reluctance to change. I get that people don't want Dave to have been been sacked, but it has happened. Change isn't always a bad thing, and we've just got to give it a chance and see where it's going from here. I think the reasoning behind it all could have been a huge collection of things. It could have been some of the things we've mentioned. It might be something completely different entirely. Some people are saying this is the end of CrossFit. They said that when Eric took over. They said that when they changed the format of the Open and regionals. They say that all the time, and it hasn't been true yet, and I don't think it's going to be true now. Things are going to be different, but that doesn't necessarily mean negative. The shift I'm hoping to see is the Open being more inclusive for beginners, for adaptive athletes, for people of all different shapes and sizes to take part, as well as the elite athletes. I want to see it as a good test of fitness, but also a big community event that everybody wants to get involved with. And I want to see it the way I always saw it, an event where you might get your first muscle up, or your first pull up, or your first toaster bar, or you might PB one of your lifts and just be absolutely ecstatic, or get your first double under, which I did in my first Open. That is the magic of the Open that we all know, and I think that is going to stay, and I want to see the shift towards the heart of where it used to be, kind of away from this we want it to be the most painful Open ever, and more towards let's make it really fun and inclusive and enjoyable, as well as being a good test and as well as being really challenging. I think lots of people are capable of programming and organising. I know a lot of people think that Dave is the only one that can do this. That is not the case. Organising an event is a skill. Eric obviously has a lot of experience in business. I think he's pretty much got this handled. It remains to be seen. We'll see what happens, but I would like to hear a bit more from him about his vision for the future of CrossFit. For many of us, I think CrossFit is more about getting fit so that we can do fun stuff in our life and enjoying fitness and lifting heavy weights and just having fun. I think that is the main aim of CrossFit. It seems to be getting people healthy and changing lives, and that seems to be the aim of CrossFit as a whole. I love the spectacle of the games, I love watching the top level athletes, but that is the top 1%. The rest of us, we care about the community and just getting a little bit better. So hopefully that's the way forward for CrossFit. We will see. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think this is a good thing? Do you think this is the end of CrossFit? Have you got any speculations that I haven't covered that might be the reason why Dave got sacked? Do let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.